quite incredible scenes, Mick.
It was brilliant. I was sat here on the edge of my seat, you know, hoping that Wigan were going to get that opportunity in that game, certainly in the second half. Was it going to come the way Man City were approaching it? You know, a lot of possession, a lot of opportunities, but they were just waiting for that one moment. And happened to be a little bit of a mistake from Kyle Walker, but take nothing away. Will Grigg, you know, to react to it, then a couple of little touches out of his feet to keep it away from Kyle Walker, and then the finish to keep his cool at the end there. It was a great finish. And
if there was one player you wanted the ball to fall to, Will Grigg in the FA Cup this year, 7 in 7.
Yeah, absolutely. And here it is. I mean, he's still got a heck of a lot to do. The ball falls
Kyle
from
Walker's
that left
no slouch.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is what's clever about his touches here. What's Kyle Walker doing there? I don't know why he's putting his arm up. Maybe he's expecting a foul, but you've still got to react. Those two touches there are just absolutely perfect, because you can see the other players coming across from the other side. Laporte's trying to close him down, but Kyle Walker, yeah, touch there, out his feet, and he's got one place to aim at. If he doesn't get that right, Bravo makes a simple save, but he just stretches his right foot out. He gets enough curl on it just to put it into the bottom corner.
What do you think Kyle Walker's thinking there is? Because the general consensus is he's the best fullback in England at the moment. Do you think he gets a shout from someone, the fact that he just seems to take his eye off it?
I don't think there's a shout. I think he thinks there's a foul. I think it's John Stones just before that, where the foul comes from, out on the right-hand side. So he puts his arm up, expecting the referee to blow his whistle. But managers will always tell you, you put your arm up, but you still react in the same way. And he hasn't done that. He's switched off for that couple of seconds, and he's given Will Grigg the opportunity to get 2 or 3 yards away from him. And he's done everything right, as a striker should do. Couple of touches, superb finish.
Is Pep Guardiola more annoyed than tonight with Kyle Walker or with Fabian Delph?
Probably Delph.
Or do we add Anthony Taylor into that question?
Yeah, well, until we hear from Pep Guardiola, and let's hope that we do, I think, you know, that will annoy him like you wouldn't believe. You know, it's a full-back making a challenge. There's no danger. They're nowhere near Manchester City's 18-yard box. To make that challenge, what was a minute before half-time, is just absolutely ridiculous. And I know Anthony Taylor picked out the yellow card, but he got the decision right in the end, because it was a blatant red card. It's a shocker of a challenge. It's a leg breaker, and he had to leave the field, Delph.
What I don't understand, and what reading social media...
I don't know what the rules are, but listen, if he's not, then it's absolutely ridiculous. He should be able to make them calls. He has made that call, and 100% he's got it right.
Part of the reason Pep Guardiola was so irate, of course, was that the general feeling from Manchester City's players was that Wigan should also have been down to 10. This happened 3 minutes into the game. It's Cheyenne Dunkley has a horrible first touch, tries to win the ball back. It doesn't look that bad at first glance, the challenge on Sergio Aguero, but look at it in slow motion, how high he goes at Aguero's knee.
Yeah, no, it's a horrible follow-through. I think he's probably got away with this one for 2 incidents, really. The first one, he won the ball, clearly, first before he made the challenge.
Does that matter?
And this, well, of course it does, yeah, because you're going to try and win the ball. But the second one, I think, as he's sliding in there, and it's 3 minutes into the game, I think that's the only other reason he's got away with this. Otherwise, if that was late on, let's say, for instance, that happened in the second half, and Manchester City are down to 10 men, I'd probably guarantee you that he gets sent off and they would have evened it out 10 v 10. I think it's because it's early, and I think the other incident is because he's won the ball initially. So Anthony Taylor's got a good position.
Is that an excuse if you win the ball?
No, it's not, because it should be exactly right from the first minute to the last. So I'm not making an excuse for him, but I think Pep Guardiola's probably got a case, and again, it's a question that maybe needs asking.
Well, if you weren't with us at half-time, you'll have seen Pep Guardiola's reaction to that red card was incredible. He was irate, and the arguments continued from the touchline, from pitch side, all the way down the tunnel. I'm not quite sure what his argument to Paul Cook was. Whether he felt the Wigan players had influenced the
card, Andy. I think that's the thing. You know, obviously you don't want to see managers trying to get opposition players sent off. You know, Pep Guardiola, he's been on the other end of a bad challenge, but I don't think he's ever tried to get a player sent off. What he's tried to say is, look, we have to look after the players, not just his players, but every players. And now this happened at half-time, where he was saying, get into the dressing room, because he needed to organise his players. Kyle Walker comes on in the second half, so we obviously had to get the players in to say, right, this is the changes we're going to make.
You can remember what Pep Guardiola said after that Cardiff game. The referees in England have to protect the players. What was it? Joe Bennett had that awful tackle. Was it on De Bruyne? Sane?
Yeah.
And afterwards, that's what Pep said. You have to protect the players. Maybe he didn't quite mean the opposition players.
See, that's the thing, and this is where you have to be careful sometimes as a manager, because as the game's going on, your players are going to get injured through the season, and other players are going to get injured. So just be careful what you say.
Let's get some reaction from the DW. Matt Critchley is with Paul Cook.
Paul, can you put it into words? Can you just sum up exactly what's happened?
I'm just delighted. It's an outstanding night for us all, for the players and everyone, to get the Premier League elect teams, champions elect at home, and the FA Cup is what dreams are made of. And even when you think about could you win, could you ever imagine dreaming, that sort of thing. And tonight we have, and the players deserve all the credit. I'm delighted for everyone. Our young chairman David Sharp, I'm sure his granddad's in Barbados smiling. For the family, the Whelan family, who've given the club so much commitment. It's a really good night, and we'll enjoy it. But on the flip side, we had to ride our luck. We had a lot of blocks. We worked so hard, and Man City are credit to football at times, the way they play the game and they carry all before them. And we wish them well and fighting on all the fronts they are. But tonight's our night, and I think our lads deserve to enjoy that.
How nervy for you were those last 10 or 15 minutes after you scored the goal? You must have learnt a lot about yourself as a manager.
No, you have to trust your players, and what will be sometimes. You go into the depths of a game like that, and Man City are going to test you. They're going to put balls in the key areas of the pitch. They're going to have overloads. They're going to really test you. And tonight they did test us. They're sending off some massive influence in the game, because with 11 men, they eventually just wear you out. They make you work too hard on the pitch. So we knew it was going to be difficult. We knew a lot of things had to go our way, but they have. I know for us tonight, Wigan Athletic, I'm sure we'll make all the headlines, deservedly so. But we have to concentrate then on Saturday's game.
But what did you make of the sending off? Clearly it was an important moment of the match. Manchester City unhappy about it. Pep Guardiola unhappy about it. What was your take?
My take on it was that I thought it was a red. I felt the lad led with his right foot, I think it was, and it was high. My initial reaction was that. And in the emotions of the game, we all get very emotional. That's what the game's about. If we've done anything that's deemed wrong, we'd apologise immediately. I felt it was a red. In hindsight, when people look at it, they'll all decide what it was. The referee give it. It's a key decision. We've gone on, great credit to Will for the goal. It was an outstanding goal, because he become very isolated in the second half, and it's not how you want to play, it's how you get forced to play because of the quality of the opposition.
But belief was key tonight. From before kick-off right throughout the game, the belief of your side that you could make this victory possible.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Rochdale were a great example to everyone yesterday, and Newport with the Tottenham game, and the different stuff. And a lot of things have to go in your favour to beat these teams. They really do. And tonight it's rolled our way. We're delighted with that. No one even mentioned Southampton in the next round. It was like we were out, and all of a sudden now we're all going, wow, we played Southampton. So we'll enjoy tonight. I'm sure we will, and we'll let it digest. We'll concentrate on doing everyone we can at the club as proud as we can.
Paul, well done.
Cheers.
Many congratulations. Good to see you. Thank you, Paul.
Is there a happier man anywhere in the northwest of England tonight? It sounds like he needs a good throat lozenge. Mickey Gray. I just wonder, Paul Cook said he was adamant that was a red card. Do you think when Pep Guardiola has a chance to go and have a look at it again, he'll agree Delph deserved the red?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no argument about it. And I'm sure Pep has to hold his hands up, whether he thinks it was a yellow or a red at the time. He will have seen it again. There's no question of that. And Fabian Delph had to leave the field. He might put alongside that the challenge from Dunkley on Aguero very early on in the game, as these managers do, but there's no argument. It was 100%, it was a red card, it was a shocker, and it was a leg breaker.
For all that, City had plenty of chances to get at least a draw tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even in the first half, they had some decent opportunities. Fernandinho, I think, blazed one over the bar. They had a couple of other opportunities. One fell to Laporte in the 6-yard area. He couldn't sort his feet out. But he still come out with 10 men in the second half, which I think we expected them to do.
26 shots on goal, only 4 on target across the 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's amazing. This was a very early opportunity from Aguero. Actually, I think he should actually do better with that. But they kept pushing. Manchester City, this one, John Stones. And this is the Fernandinho one that gets blazed over the top of the crossbar. And you start to wonder then, I know it's very early in the game, but is it going to be Manchester City's night?
How big could this be from Christian Walton?
Yeah, superb save. I mean, it's really, really difficult to pick one individual out from the Wigan perspective, because they just defended for their lives. These opportunities, Aguero again, swivelling onto his left foot. They just threw everything in the kitchen sink at Wigan. But they come up with the answers. They threw their bodies on the line. They did not want to get beat tonight. They're always going to have, this one, another one blazed across the 6-yard box, kept going right until the very end. That was a foul, actually, but I think he got away with that one at the end, Danilo. But look, they had great chances, Manchester City, and we all just expect them to turn up, score 3, 4, 5 goals every single time they play because they're just a phenomenal team. But that's how you have to beat them. Be resilient, be solid, and really, really want to get into that quarter-final, and that's what Wigan did tonight.
Do you think they will react in the positive? Will Arsenal be the side to suffer most from this on Sunday?
I think Arsene Wenger is sat on his sofa like this. I
Really?
think he's rubbing his hands because they've been down to 10 men. Some of them players who've played tonight will play in the cup final. There's no doubt about that. You think David Silva's going to play. Kevin De Bruyne, who came off the bench, is going to be involved. I would say Fernandinho's going to be involved. Aguero. I don't know what the back four is going to be, but they've all had game time playing with 10 men. So Arsene Wenger is sitting back at the moment, and he'll be very happy. And on the other side of that as well, is they've lost the game, so the disappointment is there. The reaction will be there from Manchester City, no doubt. They want to win that first trophy.
You have to go back a long time to find the last time Manchester City lost 2 games in a week.
Well, we're at crunch time, and I always say this when you get to the end of the season. Judge Manchester City when they've got silverware and they've already won it. They haven't won anything yet, and that's not criticism, because before tonight's game, they're fighting on all 4 fronts. They're in a final. We know they're going to win the Premier League. Champions League is another kettle of fish altogether. But until they've won something and how much they win under Pep Guardiola, that's when we can judge them.
What about Wigan? We should really finish with Paul Cook's side. He said in the build-up to this one it was almost a distraction. That certainly their league forward suffered since they got drawn against Manchester City. But what a night for Wigan. And all of a sudden now they can start planning for Southampton in the quarter-finals and maybe the chance to progress to the final 4.
Which was something that he just mentioned in his interview at the end there. We didn't even think about playing against Southampton. They lost those 2 games against Southend and Blackpool in the last 10 days. So it's obviously been a distraction because they're flying in League One. I think they might have lost their second position tonight, but they're still fighting to try and get themselves promoted. But I think take away that, the performance tonight from his players, and now an opportunity playing at home again. So when you think about that, Southampton have to go to the DW Stadium. It's not going to be easy for them. We've seen the pitch wasn't fantastic. Premier League sides want to play football. They won't be able to do it like they do on a regular basis, playing Premier League football on a weekly basis. So it's a tough one. Southampton won't want to play against Wigan.
I'll tell you who